time for the class that apparently hardly anyone can play. Don't know why. I mean, they're not that hard. But every DK I encounter in the game just can't seem to do it. Oh well. First thing that's making me sad is that my DK's hair is supposed to be pink. I miss my pink-haired night elf cheerleader. Anyways, yeah, pink hair glitch. Go. Yeah. I'm just gonna sit here on my turtle while we go over the talents. Nothing much has really changed with the DK, aside from, you know, the standard talent change, which I'll go over them like I have been. There's a couple cool glyphs, nothing super spectacular, but here we go. Still Blood, Frost, Unholy, nothing changing there. Now, this is where it's going to be a little bit different with the DK, considering they start at level 55. They get 56, 57, and 58, then they get their next talent at 60, because they get a catch up. So, starting at 56, we got Boiling Blood. Your Blood Boil ability now also triggers Pestilence if it strikes a diseased target, which is cool. Vile Spew causes an undead minion to erupt in a shower of bile, dealing 518 shadow damage to all enemies within 10 yards of the minion, and infecting them with blood plague and frost fever. Cannot speak. Unholy Blight, with a 1.5 minute cooldown, surrounds a Death Knight with a vile swarm of unholy insects for 10 seconds, stinging all enemies within 10 yards every 1 second, infecting them with blood plague and frost fever. I like that. I almost like that better than the Death Coil version that they had, but yeah. Anyways, 57, Lichborn. Draw upon the unholy energy to become undead for 10 seconds. While undead, you are immune to charm, fear, and sleep. Yay, 2 minute cooldown. Anti-magic zone, 2 minute cooldown, places a large stationary anti-magic zone that reduces spell damage done to a party or raid member inside it by 75%. The anti-magic zone lasts for 10 seconds or until it absorbs 22,218 spell damage. Basically everything in here is the same so far. Icy Grip is new. Reduces the cooldown of your Death Grip spell by 15 seconds and causes your Death Grip to reduce movement speed on the target by 50% for 6 seconds. Level 58. Death's Advance. Movement impairing effects may not reduce you below 75% of normal movement speed. I am probably going to missay this, but Chillblains. Yeah, Chillblains. Victims of your Frost Fever disease are chilled, reducing movement speed by 50% for 10 seconds, and your Chains of Ice immobilizes targets for 3 seconds. Asphyxiate. 1 minute cooldown, lifts an enemy target off the ground and crushes their throat with dark energy, stunning them for 5 seconds. Now you can be Darth Vader. You can be Darth Vader in this now. That game over, man. Game over. We're turning into Jedi. DKs are becoming Jedis. Level 60, Death Pact. Drains the vitality from an undead minion, healing the Death Knight for 50% of her maximum health and causing the minion to suffer damage equal to 50% of its maximum health. So apparently, and it's also 2 minute cooldown, apparently you don't kill your minion anymore when you use Death Pact. It just sucks up half their life. Death Siphon. Deal 10,416 Shadow Frost damage to an enemy, healing the Death Knight for 75% of damage dealt. Conversion. Continuously converts runic power to health, restoring 3% of maximum health every 1 second. Runic power generation is reduced by 50% while conversion is active. This effect lasts until cancelled or runic power is exhausted. 75. Blood Tap. Each damaging Death Coil, Frost Strike, or Rune Strike generates 2 blood charges up to a maximum of 10. Blood Tap consumes 5 blood charges to activate a random fully charged depleted rune as a death rune. Runic Empowerment. When you land a damaging Death Coil, Frost Strike, or Rune Strike, you have a 45% chance to activate a random fully depleted rune. And Runic Corruption. When you land a damaging Death Coil, Frost Strike, or Rune Strike, you have a 45% chance to activate Runic Corruption, increasing your rune regeneration rate by 100% for 3 seconds. So essentially, this tier is just rune regeneration, and each one kind of coincides with Blood, Frost, and Unholy. So yeah. Level 90, Gorfine's Grasp. 1 minute cooldown. Shadowy tendrils coil around all enemies within 20 yards of a target, hostile or friendly, dealing 2,250 shadow damage and pulling them to the target's location. Interesting. So apparently you can hurt friends with that? Is that what I'm getting out of that? Huh. Maybe not. I don't know. That'd be kind of stupid if you could. Remorseless Winter, 1 minute cooldown. Surrounds the Death Knight with a swirling tempest of frigid air, dealing 943 frost damage to enemies within 8 yards every 1 second for 8 seconds. Each time Remorseless Winter deals damage, it reduces enemy movement speed by 15%, stacking up to 5 times. Upon receiving a 5th application, an enemy will be stunned for 6 seconds. Desecrated Ground, 2 minute cooldown. Corrupts the ground in an 8-yard radius beneath the Death Knight, dealing 2,430 shadow damage every second for 10 seconds. While standing in this corruption, the Death Knight's immune to effects that cause loss of control. Fun! Now Glyphs. Like I said, there's nothing spectacular, but there's a couple cool ones. Oh, I'm turning around. No! Deathgate. Reduces the cast time of your Deathgate spell by 60%. Death's Embrace. Your Death Coil refunds 20% runic power when used to heal an allied minion. Horn of Winter. When used outside of combat, your Horn of Winter ability causes a brief localized snow flurry. Tranquil Grip. Your Death Grip no longer taunts the target. So good for dungeons and stuff like that, yanking away things to help out. But it'll go right back to the person it was on. Glyph of the Geist. Your Raise Dead spell summons a Geist instead of a ghoul. Kind of cool. Hey, I rhymed. Ah, so special. Path of Frost. Your Path of Frost ability allows you to fall a greater distance without suffering damage. And Resilient Grip. When your Death Grip ability fails because of its target is immune, its cooldown is reset. Which, on bosses, that's like a spam taunt almost. You don't get a cooldown on it, because bosses are immune to Death Grip. So that being immune, you got a perma-taunt, given I know diminishing returns would kick in, but potentially DKs could have an unlimited taunt. So okay, whatever works. So yeah, aside from that, Frost got one new ability that I noticed. And it is called Soul Reaper, I believe. Yes, Soul Reaper. It's got a 6-second cooldown, strikes an enemy for 100% damage, and afflicts the target with Soul Reaper. After 5 seconds, if the target is below 35% health, this effect will deal 51,118 shadow damage. If the enemy dies before this effect triggers, the Death Knight gains 50% haste for 10 seconds. Holy crap. That is a cool ability. Seriously, that is awesome. Like, I don't even that almost seems really OP to me with just the damage, but I mean the numbers will change and the numbers are extremely large as it is, so I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it and it's not that great, but that just sounds awesome to me. But it's a frost only spell by the looks of it. I went through, I didn't see it in any of the others. Oh, I guess it is in Unholy as well, but is it in Blood? No, you don't get it in Blood, so it's a DPS only ability. Oh well, whatever works. Anyways, this is Daniel on his turtle. I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe.